In a land where winter turns everything white, Queen Eleanor of Tabor finds something amazing, a single red rose standing tall in the cold. When she touches it, a thorn pricks her finger. She sees her blood on the snow and makes a wish. She hopes for a daughter with skin as white as snow, lips red as her blood, hair black as the night, and a strong heart like the rose. Her wish comes true, and she names her daughter Snow White. But soon, the queen gets sick and dies. Her dream was real, but her time was short. The kingdom is sad, but life goes on. Snow White grows up watched over by her father, King Magnus. But then, peace breaks. An army, shining like glass in the sunlight, comes. The king and his soldiers fight this bright threat. In the middle of the fight, Magnus finds Ravenna, a very beautiful prisoner. He falls deeply in love with her and marries her the next day, not knowing she carries dark secrets. Ravenna is not just any prisoner. She's a witch with huge powers and big dreams, and her beauty hides her real plans. She tells Magnus about her painful past, how she was once loved and then left by a king like him. She's turned her sadness into a powerful tool for revenge. So, the King Magnus dies because of Ravenna, the woman he loved. With Magnus gone, Ravenna takes over, turning the kingdom into a very bad place. The kingdom, Tabor, becomes sad and hopeless. This happens not just because Ravenna is mean, but also because she has a scary secret. She has been using a dark spell from her childhood to stay young and beautiful by taking the youth from young women in the kingdom. Now, it's up to Snow White, the real future queen, who has been hidden away, to stop Ravenna. Ravenna's magic mirror tells her that Snow White is the only one who can stop her. But if Ravenna gets Snow White's heart, she will live forever. Snow White manages to escape to a place called the Dark Forest, where even Ravenna can't reach her. Then Ravenna makes a deal with Eric, a sad and broken huntsman who drinks too much. She promises him he can see his lost love again if he catches Snow White for her. Here, the huntsman, who was tricked by Ravenna with a fake promise, learns from Finn that Ravenna lied about being able to bring back the dead. Realizing the truth, the huntsman decides to help Snow White instead. When people hear that Snow White has escaped and is still alive, they start to feel hopeful again. William, Snow White's friend from when they were kids, feels he has to help her. He pretends to be an archer and joins Finn's group to do something good. Snow White and the huntsman meet a scary troll, but Snow White's kindness stops the troll from hurting them. They find a village where the women have hurt themselves, so Ravenna won't take them. The huntsman finds out who Snow White really is, and thinks it's best to leave her with these strong women to keep her safe. But when he sees the village being attacked, he comes back to help. They meet 8 dwarfs, including a blind dwarf named Muir, who knows Snow White is the key to stopping Ravenna. But they get into a fight with Finn and his men, and both sides lose people. In all this trouble, William finds them and they all go to Hammond's castle, hoping to find safety and support there. Ravenna, sneaky and desperate, pretends to be William and tricks Snow White by giving her an apple with poison. Snow White doesn't know it's poisoned, eats it, and falls into a deep sleep that seems like a curse. Ravenna runs away. When the real William finds Snow White, he kisses her, hoping it will help, but nothing seems to happen. The only sign is a tear from Snow White, showing her sadness and the magic used on her. They take Snow White to Hammond's castle, a place that used to wait for her happily. There, the huntsman feels very sorry as he sees Snow White's strong heart, reminding him of his wife, Sarah, who has passed away. He kisses Snow White goodbye, not knowing that her tear means something special. This tear, because it comes from true love, ends the magic keeping Snow White asleep. She wakes up, surrounded by friends, still strong in spirit. Feeling strong and determined, Snow White gathers the Duke's soldiers, encouraging them to fight against Ravenna and stop her evil rule for good. They come up with a brave but simple plan. The dwarfs, who know hidden ways because they've lived in the shadows, lead through underground tunnels. They sneak inside the castle and open the gates so the soldiers can rush in. Snow White and Ravenna finally face each other, ready to fight. Just as Ravenna tries to strike Snow White down, Snow White remembers something the huntsman taught her. Using this trick and being brave, Snow White surprises Ravenna and wins, ending her terrible control over the land. Peace returns to Tabor, bright and fresh like the first days of spring. With her people's love and support, Snow White becomes queen. A hopeful and healing time starts, as everyone celebrates having their true leader back. In the next part of our story, The Huntsman, Winter's War, we focuses on Queen Ravenna's younger sister, Princess Freya. A very sad event shows Freya's secret powers and starts her on a journey for revenge. The story begins with a big scandal. Freya falls in love with Andrew, a nobleman, which is not allowed, and they have a baby together. Just when it seems like things might be okay, everything goes horribly wrong. Freya finds out Andrew has killed their baby girl. Hit by a sadness too deep for words, Freya's heart becomes as cold as ice. At this lowest point, her hidden powers show up as a deadly ice storm directed at Andrew, killing him. This is when Freya becomes the Ice Queen, hurt by her loss and driven by her anger. Freya goes north to a place where it's always winter. She builds a kingdom of ice and becomes its queen. Her heart, now ice cold from her sorrow, makes her decide to take children away from their families. She doesn't want to take care of them, but to turn them into soldiers for her army, making them as cold-hearted as she is. In the cold land ruled by the Ice Queen Freya, falling in love is not allowed. She's very strict about this rule, but Eric and Sarah, two of her best warriors, end up falling in love anyway. Sarah gives Eric her mother's necklace as a promise of their love, and they hope to escape Freya's control one day. However, Freya finds out and breaks their plan apart. Eric has to watch as Sarah is taken away from him, and then he's beaten and thrown into a river, left to think he won't survive. The story moves forward 7 years. After the bad Queen Ravenna has died, Queen Snow White is now dealing with a scary sickness. The magic mirror is causing her trouble with its evil power. Wanting to free her kingdom from this dark influence, she orders the mirror to be taken to a magical place called Sanctuary, which had been a safe place for her and Eric before. This job ends up being dangerous, and the soldiers who were supposed to take the mirror disappear. King William, Snow White's husband, asks Eric to find the mirror and make sure it doesn't end up in the wrong hands. Eric, with the help of Snow White's dwarf friends Neon and Griff, goes on a mission and finds the soldiers who were supposed to move the mirror dead, showing how dangerous the mirror is. Their mission takes an unexpected turn when they're attacked by Freya's warriors, but then Sarah shows up, still alive, and saves them with her fighting skills. Here, Sarah explains why she disappeared. She was locked up by Freya and only recently got out, surviving a tough situation. Even though she and Eric are back together, things are uneasy. Sarah feels hurt, thinking Eric didn't try to save her. But the real story is more complicated. Freya tricked them both with magic, making Eric think Sarah was dead, and Sarah think Eric left her on purpose. When they find out the truth, they join forces to get back the magic mirror, which goblins have taken. During a fight with the goblins, Sarah notices Eric still wears the necklace she gave him, showing their past love. This moment, in the middle of a battle, brings back their feelings for each other. They get the mirror back, proving their loyalty to each other by fighting off the goblins and overcoming their past troubles. That night, they share a peaceful, loving moment under the stars. But then, things go wrong again. Freya attacks, and surprisingly, Sarah shoots an arrow at Eric. But Eric doesn't get hurt because the arrow hits the necklace Sarah gave him, which saves his life. The necklace turns out to be more than just a gift. It protects Eric from death. Meanwhile, Freya, wanting to be the most powerful, talks to the mirror, but she accidentally brings back Ravenna, whose spirit was in the mirror after she lost to Snow White. Now, Eric decides to stop Freya and end her cold rule. But when Ravenna shows up and attacks, Freya defends her huntsman with an ice wall. Eric, Sarah, and their friends climb over the wall, ready to fight for the mirror and help Freya against Ravenna. As the sisters argue, Ravenna accidentally reveals she caused Freya's ice powers. She admits to a mean plan driven by jealousy. The mirror had said Freya's daughter would be prettier than Ravenna, so Ravenna made Andrew cause the death of Freya's baby. Feeling betrayed, Freya fights Ravenna. The fight ends sadly when Freya gets hurt by Ravenna and knows she's dying. With her last bit of strength, Freya freezes the mirror. Quickly, Eric breaks the mirror, defeating Ravenna for good. In her last moments, Freya dreams of happy times with her daughter and sees Eric and Sarah's love, realizing what true happiness is. Her last words are about how lucky they are to have each other. With Freya gone, the icy spell on her captives ends, and they are free. Eric and Sarah move forward, leaving their troubled past behind, ready for a new start filled with love. This is where both stories wrap up.